Hello everyone, I'm Charlie Tolhurst and welcome to Motorsport Corner here on the Chazza Squash YouTube channel. This is a new playlist I'm going to be doing, focusing on all the latest motorsport news. And this time round, we're launching a Formula One playlist. Yes, this is basically going to be a new series on YouTube, featuring various different motorsport roundups, news, all that kind of stuff. We're going to be focusing on the big news from Formula One over the past few days, including a review of the 2023 Canadian Grand Prix. A race which once again was won by a Red Bull. Yes. It was the imperious Dutchman Max Verstappen who took the top honours in the race. What another day it was to successfully win for the Dutchman. Max Verstappen picks up all the pieces in the race. He gets pole position, wins the race. What more could you ask for? I think it's like his 5th or 6th win of the year from what I understand as well. He's been dominant. Red Bull have won every single race so far this season. I mean, could we be talking about a record for McLaren being broken this year? I mean, I don't know. But let's go over the rest of the results whilst we're here. Obviously, Max Verstappen won the race ahead of Fernando Alonso, who I have to say was very, very good in this race. Alonso with a very strong drive after his disappointment in Spain, coming back to finish second place after having a great fight with Lewis Hamilton in the Mercedes. I have to say, I mean, Lewis he did have the better start, but Fernando got past him later on and was just able to hold him off. And in the end, 9 seconds was the gap. They did challenge Verstappen for a bit, and it was a lot closer than people think it was. Obviously, there was a couple of safety cars. I think there was a safety car in the race. There might have been another one, but there was definitely one safety car, which I'll come on to in a minute, involving a driver who unfortunately pulled out of the race, but running in a strong position. Charles Leclerc finished 4th, despite missing out on Q3 for the second successive race. Finishing 4th, a great result for him. He's had poor luck recently. A big pool of points for him there. Ferrari getting a much stronger result at Circuit Gilles Villnuve with Sainz another P5. Sergio Perez, I think, will be one of the most disappointed drivers of the weekend. P6, yes, it was a decent showing from the Mexican, but once again missing out on Q3 for I think the first successive race now. He missed it, of course, in Monaco. He crashed out. Then he, of course, missed it in Spain, and then missed it after trying to gamble to go onto dry tyres. I don't think he went on to dry tyres. I think he went on to wet tyres when the track was drying out and just could not get through. A very poor showing from him. But my driver of the weekend, and I have to say, my opinion, definitely deserves driver of the day, Alexander Albon in the Williams. What a magnificent result for him. 7th place. I mean, that is a huge haul of points for Williams. Honestly, that is one of the best results they've had in a long time as well. P7. Albon with a great result. I mean, this is a great result a fantastic result for Williams. You could tell after Albon's celebrations on the radio, it felt like a win for him. P7. I know it was only you're talking 6 points, but that's 6 points for a team that are towards the back of the grid. Williams having some upgrades, really working on the Williams. Esteban Ocon finished 8th in one of the first of the Alpines. Lance Stroll was 9th after having a pretty abysmal qualifying. And Valtteri Bottas getting the final point. He's had very much poor run of luck recently, finishing in 10th there. Then we've got Piastri, Gasly, Norris, Tsunoda, Hulkenberg. Very disappointing race for him after looking so good in qualifying. 15th there in the Haas. Zhou Guanyu 16th. Kevin Magnussen has having a very disappointing race. 17th. Nick de Vries 18th. And in the retirements with George Russell and Logan Sargent. George Russell had an issue with his car, but also hit the wall as well, which triggered the safety car because he lost his front wing and had a puncture, and Logan Sargent unfortunately retired with an engine issue in his Williams. At least one Williams went out and the other Williams got points. So, what can I say? Nick De Vries, though, and Kevin Magnussen both tripped over each other several times. De Vries, in my opinion, got in the way of Magnussen there. I don't know why. And Lando Norris got a penalty as well, which I think is why he dropped to 13th position. After apparently, they called it unsportsmanlike behaviour. Apparently, he slowed down too much when the safety car was deployed to try and get McLaren to double stack successfully Oscar Piastri, because he did, and he didn't, and obviously Lando. But I mean, he did have a good race, but then he got chucked out the points. So yeah, penalties not going his way, unfortunately, if you ask me. But obviously, Verstappen, once again, the dominant driver. Red Bull just showing so much pace at the moment. And, well, there's no question about it. You've only got to look at the driver's standings to really get the context now that Verstappen is now well out in front. I think it's something like, what? Nearly 80 points clear? It's like 79 clear now. He's at least more than a couple of race wins clear of Sergio Perez. And Fernando Alonso is only 9 points behind Perez now after his strong showing recently. Alonso has been very, very consistent since he's been back in Formula 1 this year. Third place, Lewis Hamilton is fourth, Carlos Sainz is fifth, George Russell is sixth, Charles Leclerc is seventh, Lance Stroll is eighth, Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly complete the top 10. I mean, we're looking at here, I think Verstappen once again, he's just walking away with it, isn't he? The next race for Formula 1, if you want to know when the next race is, we are officially heading to, I believe, the next race is going to be, yes, Austria, July the 2nd. A couple of weeks' time, we are heading to Spielberg, the Red Bull Ring, for the Austrian Grand Prix, which has also announced that it's going to extend its run with Formula 1 races, signed new contract, I think it's till 2027. The Austrian Grand Prix, the Red Bull Ring, will remain on the F1 calendar for a further few more years. So, great to see that the Austrian Grand Prix is continuing to host Formula 1 races. And yes, we've only got a few weeks until the British Grand Prix as well, guys, at Silverstone. I can't wait for that. Silverstone, of course, one of the best circuits in the country. In my opinion, one of the best circuits in the world. But yeah, Formula 1 certainly is going to be coming back with a bang. And yeah, just in general as well, who are the winners and losers from the weekend? Well, Max Verstappen and Alex Albon, in my opinion, and even Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton are all winners, but the losers obviously are going to be George Russell, Lando Norris, both of the Hasses, Nick De Vries, so many drivers I could name. Please comment down below who your winners and losers are of the last weekend, the Canadian Grand Prix. And that is your Formula 1 news roundup. The next race will be in Austria, so there'll be another review of that coming up, and also a preview to the Austrian Grand Prix coming up very, very soon as well on Motorsport Corner. The next video dropping on Motorsport Corner on my YouTube channel, Chazza Squash, will be a review of the British Touring Car Championship action from Alton Park. That will be going out midweek, so please keep an eye out for when that video drops. As well, thank you so much for listening, everyone. Take care, and we'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. I'm Charlie Torres. Thank you.